Indonesia holds 15% of the world's richest biodiversity, a small nation where orangutans, Sumatran tigers, rich peat soils and rainforests reside. But over the last decades, 72% of these pristine rainforests have been felled, and a large part of the blame lies with international companies as their insatiable appetite for all things palm-based grows. Palm oil is well known as a product that drives rainforest and climate destruction. Another lesser-known product of the palm industry that is equally destructive is palm kernel animal feed. Over the last decade, New Zealand's appetite for palm kernel animal feed has skyrocketed by more than 2,000%, and a large part of the blame lies on the shoulder of New Zealand's biggest dairy cooperative, Fonterra. 1.1 million tonnes of palm kernel animal feed came into New Zealand in 2008. The majority of which went to feed dairy cows on Fonterra farms. Fonterra's drive to produce more milk on less land is a major reason New Zealand now imports a quarter of the entire world's production of palm kernel animal feed. New Zealand and Fonterra must take responsibility for the part that they are playing in the destruction of Indonesia and Malaysia's rainforests. From Jakarta, we travelled through to Sumatra. Our first stop was Jambi, where we met with Peter from the Frankfurt Zoological Society. Hi, I'm Suzette from Greenpeace.
I'm Peter from Frankfurt.
During the last 10 years, one of the major threats to genuine or pristine habitat became the oil palm production. Because since last year, Indonesia is the #1 in the world. They already outrun Malaysia in producing palm oil. For us as conservationists, the kind of hard to understand fact is that it goes on the expenses of natural forest. Palm oil as a product is nothing bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's because it can be used for almost everything from pastry products, chocolate, cosmetics to paint. It's from a technical point of view, it's a dream product. The only point is it should be produced on wasteland, and it should at least secondary forest, but it shouldn't be produced on the expenses of still natural forest.
From Jambi, we travelled for 5 hours into the forest to the Orangutan Rehabilitation Centre. But for me, keeping the forest intact is just about the whole of the forest, and the orangutans are one part. And here they're doing an amazing job in rehabilitating them, training them, schooling them on how they can live back in the wild. I also have to say it's quite sad to hear when Peter said they've only got 2 years to turn a lot of this deforestation around. Otherwise, these guys' habitat's going to be gone forever. I've got a daughter, and I think, gosh, I don't want my daughter to grow up in a world that's so inherently different from my own.
Oh, I'm a farmer, and I'm from Aotearoa in New Zealand. And I'm here because I've come to have a look at this to see what is happening here in Indonesia, and trying to figure out maybe the solutions for us in the future. And it's all a bit sobering. For a start, the smell and the taste of the bush, the freshness and the health, and to go and look an orangutan in the eye and shake hands with it and realise that you're looking at something that's on its way out because of our man's greed. If we're doing something like feeding our cows palm kernel, we can't just avoid the idea that we're not attached to this major equation.
From the jungle, we continued our journey north to the village of Kuala Mulia. Here, we met with the local leaders of the village.
Kalau nampaknya sekarang Pak, selama ada PT ini nampaknya masyarakat banyak yang sakit-sakit Pak. Lantaran dia tadi kan membakar lahan.
My message back to the companies that are importing palm kernel into New Zealand is I think they just should stop, because this is clearly a breach of the simple principles of responsible investment, which the international community is focusing more and more heavily on. This will impact on New Zealand's trade, and this will impact on the way in which we are viewed.
From the village, we travelled into the concession area of Dutapama to witness firsthand the devastation wrought by this palm company.
Memang yang selama ini yang kami dambakan oleh masyarakat sini adalah hutan dan sungai. Tapi selama perusahaan ini masuk ke sini, nampaknya beginilah keadaan hutan kami dihancur lantakkan, diluluh lantakkan sampai seperti ini, dibakar. Padahal yang membakar itu adalah perusahaan itu sendiri, bukan masyarakat. Tapi tuduhannya tetap kepada masyarakat. Nah, ini yang kurang menyenangkan di pikiran saya.
My feet are standing on some of the most carbon-rich soil in the world. And when they come in here to do these plantations, they drain out the lifeblood from these peat soils in the form of water. They then burn it and plant palm oil. This releases so much carbon into our atmosphere, destroys the soils, the waterways, and people's lives. After visiting the Duta Palmer concession, we continued north for nearly a day. We then entered a concession formerly owned by Wilmar, which still provides palm to Wilmar's company. Fonterra are further implicated in this rainforest destruction through its half-owned subsidiary, RD1. RD1 have a joint venture with Wilmar, one of the world's biggest rainforest destroyers, and currently bring in a large part of the palm kernel animal feed that is imported into New Zealand.
Is what Greenpeace and others have been saying true? Is this proposal or this investment decision, is it sustainable? The answer clearly is no. It's just not right.
The land that I stand on was once the walking grounds of the mighty Sumatran tiger. There's only 300 to 400 of these magnificent animals left in the wild. Wilmar currently hold 500,000 hectares of land. Only 200,000 of this has been cleared to plant palm, the majority of which is in Indonesia. Another 300,000 hectares is going to face the same future as the lands that we stand on now. This has to stop. We cannot be party to what is happening here on the ground in Indonesia and in Malaysia. We must stop importing palm kernel to feed our dairy cows.